Have you guys ever noticed that your finger can go really...
Stop it.
That's the worst. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your weekly Watchalong. We are members of Take 3 Productions, professional as always. My name is Robert Parker. I am one of your main hosts of
the show.
Okay. All right. Everything is happening here. We got off to the right foot for this episode. I am Robert Parker, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, my good friend, Cody Newberry. Cody, how are you doing tonight? And what do you think of the movie we're watching tonight, which I haven't even introduced yet because I'm a bad host, X-Men First Class?
I am the biggest X-Men apologist, but I don't have to apologize anything for this movie because this is amazing. It is my second favorite X-Men movie. I like Days of Future Past a little bit better, but they go hand in hand with me. I think this trilogy. I'm even an Apocalypse defender.
I agree.
I have fun with that movie. I know there's problems, but I still like it. So I'm excited to start where it started off. Again, they had a huge task ahead of them of casting new characters, and I think they did a perfect job with this movie. So, yep.
Yeah, I agree completely. Also joining us are the usual suspects for our watch-alongs now. We have, we'll start with the man across the pond, Malcolm. Malcolm, how are you doing tonight? What do you think of X-Men First Class?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I think I might stay for the whole thing today, but...
No tooth pain today?
No, not today. But yeah, I mean, First Class is definitely up there with my favourites. Like, after the Last Stand, like, I didn't think I'd enjoy another X-Men movie as much as I like the original trilogy, but First Class sort of came out of nowhere. Like, I really enjoyed with what they did with this. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And somebody who I know loves this movie, Matt Currents. Matt, how you doing? What do you think of X-Men First Class?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited that we're doing this watch along. This is my favorite X-Men movie. I've always loved the X-Men since I was a kid, watching the animated series and reading the comics. But there's this weird thing where, like, I always liked the X-Men, but this is what made me love the X-Men. It was this movie that made me go back and revisit the trilogy, and it just it has my favorite, as you saw in the Rankum episode, it has my favorite Professor X. There's so many good things, and I'm along with Cody where I also love Days of Future Past, and I like a lot about Apocalypse. It could have been better, but like it's this movie just does so many things right. Yeah, this is easily... Logan is very close, number 2, for those of you who are wondering, but this is number 1.
Yeah, this is my favorite X-Men film. My favorite X-Universe film is Logan. But we are going to hit play and see what everybody here in the chat thinks as well. We're going to hit play on a blank screen before a Fox logo. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play. And with that, I'm going to leave this up to you, and I will be back in a few minutes. I need to go finish dinner.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I think I'm going to be a few seconds behind you guys.
But wait a minute, Matt. This isn't Star Superman. How can this be one of your... Oh! But good thing he was in the top 3 of superhero... Oh.
You know what, Cody? You're
okay, that's my final joke of the night.
You're so... No, it's not.
You're right.
That's the thing. It's not. You're going to be like, oh... You know, this scene is really good. Superman sucks, by the way. You know what the thing is, too, that I hate? This is to all of you, before the movie really starts. This is what I love about Take 3. When Matt does this, if Matt was always constantly bringing up Christopher Reeve and all this, Matt would just be an asshole. Like, Matt brings up all the webbing jokes in the Spider-Man watch-along, and Matt's that asshole. But Cody shit-talks Christopher Reeve, and he's a comedic god.
I mean,
funniest
it's not...
member of Take 3 right here.
I mean,
shut up, Malcolm. The adults are talking. No,
Malcolm's older than both of us.
Well, I was going to say it's not like Cody brings up the Red Sox every chance he gets, but
yeah, that's true. I know. I just support them.
I'm kidding, Malcolm. The post you made on your Facebook page about English in New Zealand kills me. Did you see it, Cody? Some guy was like, Malcolm found out somewhere, but he was like, I'm thinking about going to New Zealand on a trip, but I want to know if they speak English. Does he think they always speak Elvish or something?
I don't know.
Also, this when you try to explain to someone, this is like Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's like you try to explain to someone that like this is like a fun movie, and then it's like concentration camp is our opening scene.
I like that we all started trying to bust jokes, and the Holocaust is
the
literally
Holocaust
happening
is
behind
literally
us.
going on. Okay, people, this is why we will never do a Schindler's List watch along.
No.
But this, I love the fact that they recreate the opening scene from the first X-Men movie, but then expand it.
Right.
I think that's such a...
It's kind of like what we didn't get in the first one, because he literally turns into like the hunter.
The thing I love is that it does a two-for thing that I love about this movie in general, which is it connects back to the original trilogy while also expanding at the same time. So it shows us that opening scene to show us that it's like the same thing, but then it actually shows us why Magneto kind of became who he was.
Well, I will say, I think I like these movies better most of the time because it's not clearly a Hugh Jackman movie.
Yeah.
It is very... There is...
Like,
yeah,
they relied on him so strong in the first two. He is in the second one, but there's still a primary... They've set up, and the main characters are still just as important. Within this one, there's a scene of him, there's a short moment, and then that's it, and it's just on these characters. And you get to see Magneto more
Cody,
before...
I agree with you 100%. Like, Wolverine is my favorite X-Men. I love the fact that, like, he's in a scene, his scene is hilarious, but I like the fact that even though he was, by this point, he was the most marketable X-Men, he was... I mean, at the time this movie came out, there was the animated show Wolverine and the X-Men on the air, and they were like, nope, Hugh Jackman, we'll have him in a scene, but we want to tell stories with these other characters.
Yeah.
And the way... You can never watch the original trilogy and look at Mystique the same way after you watch this movie. You never can, knowing her relationship with Charles.
Well, and that's the thing with it, because Magneto is he's probably top 3 of X-Men of all time for me.
Yeah.
And it actually shows that in the other times he's always flawed and always the bad guy. This is like the one we actually get to see redeeming qualities of him right off the gate. Like he's pissed, and he should be, for what happened to him.
It shows you, like, me and Rob talked about this, not to do plugs, but we've talked about Magneto when we did the movie fandom show, and we did the original X-Men. And the thing we talked about in that is the thing that works about Magneto as a villain is you understand a lot of why he is who he is. And this movie, especially when you see what Sebastian Shaw does to him, you understand why he becomes who he is, but you also see he's taking it steps too far, and that's the problem.
Well, yeah, he saw what happened to his people before, and then they're trying to do the same thing to his people
Again,
and he knows that there's nothing wrong with people.
But the difference is now he has the control of his power enough to do something about it. Also, Kevin Bacon, I love in this movie so much. I don't know why. Like, it's something unexplainable. I just love.
He takes me out of this. Is the why Days of Future Past is higher on my list, because he takes me out of it. Because every time I look at him, I'm like, "You're the dancing guy from Footloose. You're not terrifying."
Yeah, I don't know.
Except that one scene that we'll talk about later. That is like.
I think it's because when I saw this movie came out in 2011, so I think I was in 8th grade when this movie came out. So I didn't know who Kevin Bacon was. I wasn't really watching a lot of movies, so like. This was, I don't think this is my first Kevin Bacon movie, but like this, I didn't know him yet. So it was like, oh, this really cool actor. And this scene just, God, every time, man.
There is a scene in the movie that when we get to it, I'll explain, but you actually see the actual badness in him. But like, I think the action in the first two especially, are better because of the technology. The characters are just as strong in the first two, like the original trilogy, but like it's crazy. Like I
All the
every time I
characters,
watch
like
this, it goes
Logan's
up higher.
story in the first two X-Men movies in the original trilogy is fantastic. And
I
Rogue,
just hate
like,
what
they're
they
great.
do to Cyclops. Cyclops is not a bitch, and they
Cody,
made him such
he
a
is
bitch.
not a secondary. He was the leader of the X-Men, for God's sake, and they made him
They
like
made him a love boy, though. He was a bitch
just
boy,
made
and
him
it's
like
annoying.
they wanted a love triangle, and they were just like, well, okay, Cyclops only means is to be a love triangle.
Scott Summers
Okay.
is way more than just lights out of his eyes. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
people
it drives me nuts.
read a comic or watch the animated series from the 90s. Cyclops is a freaking character.
They
I mean,
they gave him as much love as that security guard in the second one. the prison guard. Go ahead, Malcolm. Sorry, I keep cutting you.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I don't think that they do Cyclops any more much justice in Apocalypse either.
Yeah, that's an afternote, though. That's the problem.
I
Yeah.
actually think they do him better. And James Marsden was a great choice for Cyclops, too. That's the other problem.
Yeah.
Okay, but
But,
back to this scene. Watching this for the first time, I literally remember my mouth gaping open. Just like, they did it. Like, I didn't think that they would do that. Like, because again, like, I'm thinking about, ooh, fun, the X-Men, Wolverine, stick, claw, claw. And I was like, they just killed his mother.
But yeah, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but we had Kevin Smets in the chat, and he loves First Class as well.
Really? What's up, Kevin? You're still watching with us.
Oh,
Something wrong, Cody?
just a scene.
Yeah, it's... And again, the young actor they have playing Magneto, great.
Well, like I thought when I heard the casting decision that they were using James McAvoy, which at the time, not that much credibility going.
He wasn't
towards it.
known. They weren't really known.
And Fassbender, and for them to even be in the conversations to stand up to Ian and Patrick, like
it was like
that's insanity.
Like,
that
when
you
look
have
at what this movie was in 2011 of like, ooh, it's gonna be young Magneto and Professor X going out and finding X-Men. That just sounds like the dumbest like CW idea for like an X-Men movie. And yet they killed it. And you also, the big one for me is Jennifer Lawrence. You got to remember, this was a year before Hunger Games. So this, like, no one knew who she was, really.
Yeah, she does good in this movie, but then the second movie, she's gone off.
Because she got too popular. And the third one, I think, is the worst with her.
She is.
She just doesn't care.
She is probably the worst of the new ones because she just doesn't
she's
care.
good in this movie. She's bad in the R2. And the thing I hate the most about that is she's the easiest character to recast. She can literally change it to anyone.
I mean,
but now we're getting to one of the reasons why this movie is amazing. I'm sorry to cut you off, Malcolm.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with Jennifer Lawrence in Days of Future Past. I mean,
I think she was good in that one. It's Apocalypse. She is just
as an X-Men fan of who Mystique really is, she is a huge deterrent in that movie, and that's the problem I have. She's Scott Summers of the original trilogy. She is that character because she just doesn't add anything, and she's not as complex of a character that it's really weird that Rebecca Romijn Stamos or Rebecca Romijn is like the bomb at Mystique when Jennifer Lawrence has, I think, better acting skills that she should have blew it out of the water. The star of this is McAvoy, though.
James McAvoy. I just love the fact that like young Professor X used his powers to just hit on chicks. To which I'm just like, yeah, what guy wouldn't? Like, you literally have a way to know everything about them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just scared to see what Jennifer Lawrence's acting is like in Dark Phoenix if it ever comes out.
That's a big if.
Like, he is strong in this movie. He gets insanely better in
Who, McAvoy?
Oh yeah.
I think this is this
when
is my
he's at
favorite.
his crumbling point.
I love him in the second movie, but this is my favorite Professor X. I'm being honest, is James McAvoy in this movie. I don't know why. It's again, I think it's because of when I saw it. It's one of those weird things where it's just when you see a performance at a certain time. James McAvoy's performance in this movie made such. Now I will say he gave a better acting performance in Days of Future Past,
100%.
but this is my
in this
favorite.
one, he's
if
just
that
like,
makes sense.
I can't help you, and like he's nice. He's nice, and he goes through like a little anguish. But in the second one, he loses the ability to walk, and like,
Well, he becomes a junkie in the second one.
yeah, it's insanity.
He's goddamn. He's so good. I love Charles so much in these movies. And having grown up with a sibling, their bickering is so on point. Like, wasn't he? Okay, I might be crazy here, but wasn't he Mr. Tumnus in the Chronicles of Narnia's movies?
He was.
Okay. That's where I knew him from before this movie.
Yeah, I was just looking at both their filmographies. Before they ended up in first class, like with McAvoy, I think his notable one was probably Lion Rich the Wardrobe. He was also in Wanted.
Yeah, he
and
was in Wanted a couple years before this.
And Atonement as well. So,
and out of those movies, I've only seen The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
The year before this, Michael Fassbender was in Jonah Hex.
Yeah,
boy, he really lucked out there that this movie came.
Like he was still able to work after that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, I missed the heterochromia stuff. Damn.
You had what?
I missed the heterochromia stuff. The part where Professor X is using his powers to hit on chicks.
Yeah, you missed it. Sorry.
That's fine.
Oh, do you need a time code?
Nope,
no,
I had
he was playing it while he was making dinner.
I had it in my room.
Are you pro or con Jennifer Lawrence? Do you
in Days of Future Past?
Okay, well, still, I would say the trilogy. Do you feel like she is like the Scott Summers of the original trilogy? Just didn't live up to what the character could have been. Do you agree or disagree? We all agree she's fine in this one, but the next two
overall,
I think she's fine in this one, and I think she's fine in Days of Future Past. I think in Apocalypse,
but for the crucial part that she has,
yeah, I think she does. I still think I like her role, and I like her portrayal in the role in Days of Future Past. So,
Cody, this is
I really like the scene.
You and me agree on something that you and Rob don't agree on. What's going on? What's the world coming to?
I really so there's a couple scenes in Days of Future Past specifically. Like I like the scene where her and Eric are in like the airport, or like the train station terminal place, and they like go into the side of the compartment. And she's like, "Oh, I'm fighting the fight," and he's like, "Oh, this isn't what I wanted," and she's like, "Yeah, it is. You're a killer." All that kind of stuff. Also,
the scene always. He's so good in this, but also the part when
who did the score
out
for this movie?
Henry Jackman. It is my favorite X-Men score.
It is so such a good score.
It is I love Michael Kamen's 2000s X-Men. I love John Ottman's X2 and Days of Future Past. I love Marco Beltrami's Logan. This is
if I could buy, I don't own the scores yet, but if I could only buy one X-Men score, even though I love Logan and Rogue's theme from the original, this is the score I would buy.
Yeah, this is
this scene though. Oh,
yeah. For the longest time, I thought Henry Jackman and Hugh Jackman were related.
Yeah. Also with was it Stan Lee and Jason Lee and Bruce Lee?
I love this ending line too. I'd love to kill you.
Yeah, I'm a couple of seconds behind you guys.
I will find you. Oh! See, I
Yeah.
love that they turned Magneto into the Nazi hunter that he should have been. Like that's why I like this. I think these are my favorite over the original trilogies because you actually get to see the characters of
Well,
Magneto.
that's because these are X-Men movies, not Wolverine movies.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying.
Yeah, and I like X-Men, and I really enjoy X2. But like the original trilogy, they aren't X-Men movies. Like they just aren't. They focus way too much on Wolverine and try to like
They made it a love triangle.
Yeah, they try to. Wolverine takes far too center, and like I understand because that's the character that a lot of people gravitated towards. So I understand in the early 2000s when like comic book movies were starting their rise, I understand why they did it the way they did. I just
let's talk about one of the things that does
January Jones.
work in this movie.
January Jones as Emma Frost.
I mean, you can see why she was hired, but you can also hear why she shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Problem with Hollywood.
No, the Jennifer Lawrence stuff. Sorry, I think they wrote her part to be too much of a focus in X-Men Apocalypse, and I think that's where it really goes off the deep end.
She's a huge part in.
No, I'm saying that she's the villain though. She is the primary villain for 3/4 of Days of Future Past. In Apocalypse, she is written to be the hero, but her character's like, no, I'm not a hero. I don't want to be the hero. But because of the star power that Jennifer Lawrence brought to the role, she like stayed that way, and I don't think that really worked.
Yeah, if I could buy her as a villain, I would, but I can't buy her because I don't feel like she's fully there. It might have been the 8 hours of makeup she had to sit through or something. I don't know. Yeah. I just think that character is so complex that I wanted more, I guess.
I mean, I like her performance in all 3 of these movies better than anything that Rebecca Romijn did. And the reason is, okay, maybe not the performance. I should change that. The character. I like the character in these movies better than the character in the original trilogy because the only thing Mystique is there to do in the original trilogy is be a henchman for Magneto. That's it. The entire time over the course of 3 movies. And these ones, at least she's a little bit more of a layered character with a little bit more complex motivation.
Me and Robert could agree to disagree on that part.
More complex motivation in Days of Future Past?
That's the problem with Mystique as a character. Like, yes, I agree. They tried to make her more layered, but the problem was the performance doesn't come across. Like, that's my whole thought. I'd rather them just make her a henchman and be that part if they can't deliver it. Because you don't buy it after this movie that she's actually, like, back and forth. Like, yes, I agree. When her and Fassbender are on screen together, that's the glimpse that you see. Like, yes, we're going in the right direction. And then when it goes away from Fassbender, it's just like, we've lost her. She's gone again. Yeah. Like, she's on her just...
I don't know, because I think you get that glimpse again in... I'm not trying to play devil's advocate. I think you get that glimpse again in Days of Future Past when she goes to Vietnam and poses as Stryker to like release the mutants.
Well, that's a different story.
I buy her motivation Days of Future Past of
right. You can buy her motivation
because of the because he's so anti-mutant, and by the end of this movie, she is so pro-mutant.
But you can't get but that we're having a difference of it. That's a different argument that you're trying to fight there because it's not. Where that's not her at that point. That's another character. I'm talking about Jennifer Lawrence's performance as Mystique is where it's very monotone and bland throughout the entire thing. When she plays Stryker, she's not Stryker. It's fantastic. But when she's on screen, she does not have the emotional depth from past this movie. This movie, she's good. This movie, she actually cares about. But then she got Hunger Games fame and American Hustle, and just got lost in J-Law.
She won an Oscar. Let's not forget.
That's my point. I agree. Yeah. I agree that she is way more to do in this. I just don't think she cares past the first. That's what my argument was.
I think that's a fair argument.
I think I'm 100% with you. They give her way more to do, which is better. Mm-hmm. I just wish that she cared a little bit more because it's not. Jennifer Lawrence is a fantastic actress. She just didn't put everything into this. That's my problem with it.
Yeah. Anyway, like talking about casting and that, the producers of the movie only had two choices for casting for Sebastian Shaw. One was Kevin Bacon. Do you guys know who the other one was?
The actual Sebastian Shaw played the original Anakin Skywalker in the 1983 version of Return of the Jedi.
No, who?
Patrick Swayze.
I don't know.
Colin Firth was the other one that they had in mind to be Sebastian Shaw.
That's interesting.
That would not have worked.
It might have.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they decided to go with Kevin Bacon because he was American and could appear more menacing.
I think the only issue is because Kevin Bacon's the one part that kind of takes me out of this movie, just because of his movies that I've seen him in. It's not that his performance isn't good; it's just who I know. Kevin Bacon.
You heard it here first, guys. Cody loves him some Footloose. Watches it all.
All right, best scene in the entire movie.
Oh yeah. Speaking real fast.
100%.
I love
Okay, I
Rose,
was like, where are we going?
Rose Byrne in this movie. She's
What was
great.
that?
I love Rose Byrne in this movie.
Yeah, Rose Byrne is really good.
She's
By the
great.
way, this actually chronologically by order of release, this is not the first movie Moira McTaggart is in. She is in Last Stand as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're in like a little video call with.
But Rose is not in.
She's
that
also
one. This is again I saw this movie when I was either in 8th grade or a freshman in high school, so she's always been like top 10 movie crushes for me.
I will almost say this scene is probably one of I would say my favorite scene almost in any X-Men movie.
I
This
agree.
is top 10 comic book movie scenes for me. Like I'm not joking here. Like it's top 10 comic book movie scenes.
This is even better.
Just
yeah,
how
this is better
subtle
than
it
any.
is.
I love Logan. I like Logan more than this movie just by a little bit. This is better than anything in Logan.
I agree.
This one scene.
I agree.
This one scene is the reason why I still think, I don't care about his age, Michael Fassbender should be James Bond for at least one movie.
I'm a big Baba.
Because this is a Sean Connery like era Bond film, just darker. Like if Connery was able to be darker, this is
That Panther.
it's so good. And as like a person who loves to study history and like World War I and II, like just like the fact that like there were guys who did these things during World War II who did just they got away with it. Like they just got away with it.
Like, look at this scene.
I hate that I'm a couple of seconds behind you guys because I'm talking about you guys are reacting to things. What timestamp are you guys at? I'm just wondering.
24:18.
Okay.
By
I'm
the
just
way,
gonna go to. Okay. I'm gonna go to 24.
yeah, I mean,
28. I'm at
yeah.
24:29. Let me know when you guys hit that.
24:29.
Yeah.
I'm past that point already.
Oh God. Okay.
I mean, surely you're not that far behind us, though.
Well, now I'm paused at 24:59. So someone let me know.
I'll tell you.
Malcolm, I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Press play in now.
Okay.
Let's just say Frankenstein's monster.
Monster.
This okay. This is a real question. Better bar scene, this or Inglourious Bastards?
This. I'm sorry. And Inglourious Basterds is great. I've seen it twice, but this.
I always weigh this scene up with Christoph Waltz's scene in Inglourious Bastards, but the milk scene.
Yeah, the very start. Yeah.
Yeah, the bar scene I like, but that one's better for me. I mean, if you ask most of these people in the community, they will tell you you're nuts. But I think that scene is top 5 comic book movie scenes of all time, without question.
Which scene?
The one that just passed.
Professor X doing the beer chug. Yeah. Cody just really loves beer chugs.
I love Professor X doing a beer chug.
I would love to see that list for
He's got
Clay, where it's
legs
like
in this
number
one. It kinda
5.
makes me
It's
happy.
like Logan versus Weapon X-24 in Logan. And then it's like number 3, Professor X does a beer chug. X-Men First Class.
Okay, so
I love how he
think-
defaults to just hitting on women. That's like his default.
well, that's part of the. I really like that they, especially in First Class. Okay, so I don't know if you guys already talked about like the differences in Professor X's. We talked a little bit about.
We did. I talked about how McAvoy is my favorite professor.
I agree. We talked about it a little bit on Rankum, obviously, as well. Patrick Stewart is absolutely like out of the TV series, out of the comic book. He is a perfect epitomization of that character, of the mentor version of that character. I really, really like how McAvoy plays a character who isn't quite there yet. Like, who hasn't been a goody two-shoes all his life, who abuses his power to hit on women, who, like, who gets drugged, plays pretty much a drug addict in in Days of Future Past.
But in First Class, he does you see the seeds of who he's going to become when the shit gets going. He understands the danger of it and the seriousness.
I think that's a perfect combination of both the writing and the performance. Like the scene where Magneto almost drowns himself by trying to stop the submarine, and and Professor X jumps in to save him. That is Stewart's Professor X, or like the end on the beach. The very end after he's already been paralyzed on the beach. That is Stewart's X. But there's also those moments where like you see him as a little bit more of a rebel, which I kind of like.
It's to make a Star Wars comparison because it's me. It's very similar to Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, where there's a lot of moments where you do see Alec Guinness and you see, this guy will grow into him. While he also does. It's not an impression. He adds character to it. Character.
You see.
Oh yeah, this
is the scene I was referring to.
Yeah.
It's the one time you, like for me, you fully see the evil.
He just pulls it and then just the... Okay, now this is a question Rob, you might be better known. So, did Sebastian Shaw have these powers when he brought Eric in at the concentration camp? Or did his studying of Eric help him unlock his mutation?
I would say it never explains it in the movie, but I would guess most likely the first one.
Okay.
I think he has it.
I would guess he was already a mutant, and he just like hid it from Eric.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Fun fact: before they filmed First Class, James McAvoy shaved his head in preparation for his role. Then later he learned that the producers wanted him to have full head of hair for this movie, so for the first month he had to wear hair extensions.
It's funny.
That's funny. I've never heard that. That's great.
Oh, there's a quote by Matthew Vaughn about Professor X that I want to find here because I think it's really funny. He talks about like
when he says just the way he delivers like the pie they're serving. I believe it's pecan.
No, it's
All right, Rob.
Is it apple pecan? No. I think it might be.
He's a goddamn spy. Also, as a person who loves history and the Kennedy years and studying that, this movie just gets so much of that right. Like the nuclear threat, like the Cuban Missile Crisis. Like,
wait, what actually was the flavor of pie? I didn't mean to interrupt. Was it apple pecan?
Yes, it was pecan. Of course, I was right.
Also, Oliver Platt needs to be in more movies.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of said a random flavor of pie. If it is pecan, awesome.
Which one's Oliver Platt?
He's the man. That's him right there. His character name is Man in the Black Suit.
Oh, he's also in a 68 movies of a deep cut. It's called Ready to Rumble.
He's also in the original. He's in the original Flatliners.
I love this new addition to the X-Men universe, showing him free. They didn't really show it like this in the original movies, where you see the water still going. I don't know. I just like Professor X freezing time in this movie.
Yeah, there was something similar at the start of X2 at the museum, but it was never quite.
But it
the same
really,
way.
that one was a legitimate, like, everything freezes, whereas here it's like
The
he's
world
more
around them
slowing
kept
time
going just
down,
Am-
not freezing it.
Am I crazy? But I still think my favorite, besides the one in the bar for Magneto scenes in X2, it will still. I guess I'm kind of with Matt on this one. It's kind of the age thing. Like when you saw the movie the first time,
Yeah.
it kind of has that effect. But when Magneto pulls the iron out of the guard, and it was like, you have
And he
too
makes
much iron in your blood, and like, and you just see it start ripping things
blood.
apart, and he like uses it to step out. Like, of the comics
Yeah,
I
that
used to read,
escapes
like
me.
that's everything I ever wanted. And I
Yeah,
was like,
Rob,
it still
Cody's
works.
referring to the fact that I said, even though James McAvoy does better acting in Days of Future Past, this is my favorite Professor X. And I think it's just because of when I saw it, his performance just hit me.
Yeah, okay. So I think I think the better performances in Days of Future Past, but personally, I like this version of the character better. Because the performance in Days of Future Past, specifically the scene right before he's about to read Wolverine's mind after coming out of Cerebro, Wolverine's like, read my mind, like realize right before he has the conversation with Patrick Stewart, where he's like almost on the verge of tears, just like, I don't want your future, I don't want to hear the voices, I don't need this. Like, that speech by him is heart-wrenching. And like, that is incredible screenwriting, and that is incredible acting. Okay, so I found the quote that I wanted. So Vaughn stated that since he considered that Professor X was, quote, a bit of a pious, sanctimonious, boring character, and he's got too much fucking power, the script would make young Magneto more interesting by, quote, making him more of a rogue.
I absolutely love everything you just said.
Once again, Matthew Vaughn is probably my favorite consistently working comic book movie director. Just one of my favorite consistently working directors. Doesn't even have to be comic book movies. Because, like, I mean, Stardust, this, Kingsman, Kick-Ass, Kingsman 2 I like.
Did he do Kick-Ass too?
No, that was Jeff Wadlow. But he has a story credit on the film, and he produced it.
I like Kick-Ass too. I don't think people talk. I like that movie.
I like it. I like
it's not as good as the first one, but I still like a lot in it.
Yeah, there's a couple of weird scenes, like the poop burp, the diarrhea scene is.
Yeah,
weird.
that's a little bit. There's a little bit too much, but like Jim Carrey, I think is great.
Jim Carrey, if that movie like had more about like that team of heroes,
but
like that ragtag team of heroes led by Jim Carrey, if there were like, because realistically that team only lasts for like 25 minutes in the movie. If it had been like half of the movie was about them and we got to see more of them, it would have been way better.
Yeah. But we all know who the best character in the Kick-Ass movies is. It's Nick Cage's Big Daddy, easily.
I mean, he's good in the first one, but I think...
he's not in the second one, Rob.
I know. I think Chloe Grace Moretz... the fact that she has 2 movies to work with, I think she is...
Still, the scene when he takes down the offices all by himself.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
This right here is like perfect Professor X.
And
like
he's
talking in his head,
like, you're not alone. Go. You're gonna die if you hold on to this.
But yeah, this isn't the first time James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender have actually been on screen together in anything.
Mm-hmm.
They were both in the TV miniseries Band of Brothers.
Oh, okay. I have actually never watched Band of Brothers.
I've never even heard of it.
Another thing that Robert hates TV, pretty much.
Not true at all. I don't hate TV. I just don't make the time for it.
Well, you're not allowed to make the time for it, actually. So
That's true.
You're here first, folks. Rob's time is way too precious for your television.
now he has to defend titles, and it's not in TV. So
I have to defend and win more titles.
true.
Oh, okay, Rob. Fine. I'm just gonna go back and watch Smallville, I guess, since I don't have any titles to defend or
I've
win.
heard Smallville is good. You know, you can play in Fandom TV where you can make Smallville or Arrowverse or Netflix.
No, I would get my ass kicked in TV because it's just like unless it's The Office, I'm most likely to get my ass kicked.
Talking about Smallville, the actor that plays Lois Lane's father in the series is in First Class.
Michael Ironside?
Yeah.
Michael? Yeah. Speaking of Smallville, guys, but you can hear all about my thoughts on the season 2 finale, Exodus, next month on Second Look. Gluck.
So this part is
here's Rob Parker. If he was to be depicted in an X-Men movie.
My favorite X-Men.
Beast. Nice. No, Beast is awesome.
I just love him from the animated series, and I like Nicholas Hoult, but he's no Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer, I don't like Last Stand that much, but Kelsey Grammer is so... That's why I love the Days of Future Past. Kelsey Grammer came back for the one moment.
Is plucked out of the animated series and thrown on screen. He is literally Hank McCoy to a T.
I'll be right back, guys.
Kelsey Grammer doesn't he only have one line in Days of Future Past at the very end where he's like, "Hello, Logan," or something like that. Once Logan fixes the universe.
Yeah, something like that.
I just love that they made him a politician, that's who he was meant to be. I don't know. It's always an odd pick when somebody asks me who my favorite X-Men. I always say Beast.
For a second, Cody, I thought you were going to say that your favorite X-Men is Robert Parker.
No. Gosh, no. No. Gambit's great in the X-Men animated series. I will give you that, but he's not.
I don't think he's bad in Origins. I think people shit on Origins Wolverine a lot. I find that movie incredibly watchable.
Stop.
Don't get me wrong.
Robert,
okay,
I will boot you from this call right now.
No, listen, hear me out. So, when you rewatch movies as much as I do, you can recognize that movies are terrible, terrible, badly made movies and still find them watchable. X-Men Origins Wolverine is an awful movie that I can still enjoy watching.
Yes.
The only reason I can honestly watch that is because it stars Hugh Jackman, and I think Sabretooth is flippin' bomb.
Yeah, and
the rest is terrible.
Again, it's a bad movie, but I like.
Will.i.am.
Will.i.am is bad.
Taylor Kitsch.
I think Taylor Kitsch is decent in that movie. Danny Houston as Stryker.
The Raging Cajun, and the dude is not even close to Gambit at all.
I mean, I do kind of wish that we did get the Channing Tatum's Gambit so we could see how his take would have been.
Oh gosh, no.
Malcolm wanted to see Gambit be like, "Hey Magneto, let's sell this like men. Step up."
No, that's the Gambit that I absolutely love, and you do see a glimpse of that. Oh, believe me,
what would Channing Tatum's accent have been like for Gambit?
Oh no, but that's the thing. I love the
Hello,
moments you get. Shut your mouth, Matt. That's the thing. You see the glimpse of Taylor Kitsch being a decent Gambit. But again, it's not the character I wanted of Gambit.
No,
Gambit's
it's
a
not...
smart mouth asshole that literally hits you with cards and hits you with a stick whenever he gets a shot. And it's not what exactly I wanted.
Yeah,
but
he didn't have a good enough part in the movie,
agreed.
A big enough role. He didn't have the correct role.
He focused on Will.i.am.
Yeah, but I still think he was good in the role. Okay, so there are bad movies that are really watchable. I'm gonna finish my point from earlier. There are bad movies that are very, very watchable. For me personally, that includes things like X-Men Origins Wolverine. That includes Suicide Squad. That includes bad movies that Jonah Hex is a bad movie that's watchable. Those are very, very bad movies that are very watchable for me. And then you have terrible movies that I will watch, but they are such a drag to get through. That's where your Electras and your Catwomans live. Like, those are just...
Did you say Real Steel or Steel?
Man of Steel. That's somewhere...
What did I say, everybody? Oh, that's the only joke.
Green Lantern is over here, like, bad, pretty unwatchable.
So you're saying, okay, for Robert, if a movie is bad but is fun, has fun moments, it's considered watchable. If it goes down the dreary, dark, like long exposition, blah blah blah, it's a drag.
That's not a fair generalization. It's more of a case-by-case basis than that.
You literally just mentioned Jonah Hex, X-Men's Origins, and Suicide Squad. The reasons where I would classify those movies in for you is stupid as hell, but still has fun moments. The ones you mentioned that would be drags to get through, the ones that take themselves too seriously.
Okay, well, here's another one. Drag to get through, bad movie drag to get through for me, Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's over here as well. Batman and Robin, over here. Howard the Duck,
Robin's where?
Watchable.
Yes.
Like, I would watch Batman and Robin right now. It's an atrocious movie, but I would watch it after that.
That's the same viewpoint. Amazing Spider-Man 2 doesn't. Well, I mean, it's your
Fan Four Stick.
If you what?
Fan Four Stick is unwatchable.
Oh, correct.
Superman 4 unwatchable.
I'm gonna edit the title of this watch-along to X-Men First Class / Robin Cody's marriage counseling session.
If we divide off talk time, I bet Matt's still winning by at least 4.5 minutes.
Probably.
I dare say if this show was on multiplex, as soon as you mentioned Amazing Spider-Man 2, Rob, Caleb Cahoe would have broken into the stream.
And that's not a movie. That's not a movie that's like dark and grim and serious and takes itself too seriously. But it's still very, very hard for me to get through it. Like things like Jonah Hex and Batman and Robin and X-Men Origins Wolverine. For me, those movies fly by. Like, they're bad, but like they are not drags. It doesn't feel like 3 hours trying to watch an 90-minute movie.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel the same way, like, that you do about X-Men Origins that I do with movie 43.
Yeah. Well, for X-Men Origins Wolverine, like, starts off solid. Like, it goes to shit. It goes to shit for sure. But honestly, the first 30 to 45 minutes of that movie are not bad. When they're on when the opening montage, real good. Once Stryker brings them onto the mutant team and they go to get the vibranium in Nigeria, that's an awesome sequence. Like, that's fantastic. It goes to shit once. What's like the specific? I would say it goes to shit once Silver Fox dies. Spoiler alert for a 10-year-old movie.
Yes.
Once Lynn Collins' character dies in the forest and Wolverine starts going on his revenge mission, that's when that movie goes off the deep end and starts becoming bad.
Yeah.
But everything before that, I really think shapes up to be a good movie. But then the rest stuff that comes after that is just so horrible. The Will.i.am stuff, the Kevin Durant stuff, the everything. Even though
Kevin Durant's in that movie?
Yeah, he's Blob.
I don't think we're thinking this. Kevin Durant, the basketball player?
No, Durant with a D on the end. Kevin Durant.
I was like, I don't think he was in that movie.
Kevin Durant. Yeah, no.
I mean,
it's
yeah.
X-Men Origins Wolverine is just an interesting thing. Like I said, it's just watchable for me. Also, this montage is spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, of them recruiting all the mutants, fantastic.
So with this Disney Fox deal potentially going to happen, and with the fact we're bound to get the X-Men introduced in MCU, do you think we get to see the true Rogue when she's actually flying like she is shown in the comics? Was from what I understand, is that was in relation to Captain Marvel, which is why she could fly and stuff like that.
Also, Zoe Kravitz, consistently good in things she's in, except Crimes of Grindelwald.
I didn't actually mind her too much in Crimes of Grindelwald.
I just hate her character. I guess you're right. I don't hate her performance. I hate that character.
I mean, she wasn't used enough. I mean, it's one of those ones like I understand you hating her character, but yeah. I mean, for me, like when it comes to her performance, she wasn't in it much to get a good representation of her actual performance.
Mm-hmm. But her character ruins the last. We're not talking about Crimes of Grindelwald. Well, it's a different watch along. Also, that guy is that actor right there is the leader of the Southglade Mission Church in Kingsman. He's in almost. I think he has a cameo appearance in every Vaughn movie.
Mm.
Also, Caleb Landry Jones, who was in like a lot of stuff 2 years ago, and then suddenly not in anything. He was in like 3 Best Picture nominees last year.
Yeah. So, is there any X-Men you guys want to see a standalone movie of?
No. Not really, because the X-Men's whole creation was as a team, not as individuals.
Yeah, no, I know that, but if they said, like, you could only have one standalone movie based on any X-Men you pick.
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Oh, hold on.
Go fuck yourself.
So good.
Yeah.
Back to your question about Gumsite. Yeah, Cyclops. I think to just really give him justice, just show him he's a great character. He just actually let him be a great character. Fox or Disney or whoever is in charge.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, I know we would like to get today's Future Past on another watch along, but I like when I first saw it, like because I heard all the background stuff, the fact they were looking at getting all the original X-Men back into it. I was really disappointed when they actually cut out all of Rogue's scenes.
In Days of Future Past?
Yeah.
Well, they made 2 versions of that movie.
Well, she is.
Yeah.
Malcolm technically pushes her glasses. She's technically in the shot in the X-Mansion with Iceman.
Yeah, she's in 1 shot of that movie. Sure.
Still.
Yeah, I agree with you, Malcolm. But like, I like the Rogue. I don't know if you guys have seen the Rogue.
I like the theatrical cut more than the Rogue cut, if I'm being honest.
Theatrical cut better as well. Like, I like parts of the Rogue.
It runs better. Like the pacing is just better in the theatrical.
The editing is better. It feels like a more cohesive story.
Yeah. It feels all the Rogue stuff, like having Rogue be like the one who has to like save them all at the end. Like it just feels like really like I don't know. It just doesn't. It feels like they wanted something more to be happening at the end of the movie, and it's like no, you don't really need that.
I mean, I do actually think it because I like the Road cut more than it's just like the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman. I'm never going to go back to the theatrical cut to watch it again.
See with BVS I'll agree with you, but with Road cut I've seen it once and I was like I'll stick with the theatrical.
Yeah,
Road cut, but I
mean, each to their own.
Yeah, Malcolm.
Well, I mean, like for me, it's one of those. moments that actually make sense. That because when you've got one person using up all her power to keep Wolverine sort of in the past and sort of get like it's one of those moments in which it makes like you know she's using up a lot of power just to do that. Like so it makes sense if you have her and Rogue sort of tag team, but with the fact that Rogue can use her powers and just sort of tag team goes like, look, take a break, I will take over. It's just one of those moments.
So I know the X-Men timeline is like a confusing mess, and we shouldn't try to make sense of it. But
No,
honestly,
Rob's gonna try and make sense of it on this stream, guys. Here we go.
okay. No. But like I think the character ages are huge continuity errors for trying to make a cohesive timeline.
That's why I just don't like. I just when it comes to this, like it's a prequel. I'm just more like this is just one possible prequel to the original X-Men film.
The way there's dozens and dozens of continuity errors, but the way that most people have tried to make sense of it, and I am gonna X-Men timeline this for a second.
I told you guys. What did I tell you all?
So it starts with First Class, Days of Future Past, like the stuff in the 70s of Days of Future Past, Apocalypse.
Wouldn't it technically be? It would be
the stuff in the 70s
First
where
Class. It would be First Class. First half of what you call it, Days of Future Past,
Guys.
Apocalypse, X-Men, X2, X3, Wolverine. Last half of Days of Future Past.
Guys, it's kind of like chicken nuggets. It happens. We don't need to know how it happens or what's in it. It just works. And let's enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like
Because if you
Terminator
actually connect it perfectly, I hear the world will explode. So don't.
It's like the Terminator timeline.
Realistically, we don't know where Deadpool fits in, but besides that,
in the trash can.
Yeah. Oh my God, Cody.
You say this every time. We agree that we don't like Deadpool.
You guys have said that a lot.
Because you know what, Cody, you and me disagree on so many things, particularly with comic book movies.
So you forget that
when
I
we
always
do agree on stuff. And especially with that one, because that is one I get told so many times.
That's a scene I hate. That is one of the scenes that I hate in this movie.
I agree.
We should call you Professor X. We should call you Magneto.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
So in their defense, they were all drunk.
It doesn't matter. You don't just perfectly pull out the names.
So she is
but this scene is awesome, so they balance out.
That's awesome.
When they get to the porter, and he's just able to make them think that they don't see anything.
Yeah.
It's so great.
We should call you Han.
And they're all
Han
like
Solo.
Cody, don't start.
Same thing.
Back to this scene. I just love how they're all like ready, and it's just like, nope, no one can see you.
What'd you say, Robert?
I said I'm with you on that. This is that scene is as bad as this Han Solo thing.
It really is. It's so out of place and it's so forced, and I hate it. Like, this is Professor X and this is Magneto, but we have to get their names out there somehow. So we're gonna say it here. No. Like, why wouldn't you call her? If you're all drunk, it'd be better if you're Metal Man and you're Mind Reader. That's more of the name.
That is a teenager who's drunk.
Yeah. Not Magneto and Professor.
Okay.
You just named the most dominant comic book characters of all time. Congrats.
Yeah.
I am so ready for them to come to the MCU, though, that I am. Oh, I'm so ready. I'm ready for an X-Men movie with Kevin Feige behind it. I'm so ready.
Yeah.
Because I love these, but what they can do is insane. Is insane. There's not even a question.
Because I'd love to see if they could do. I mean, I know it may take like a lot to plan this one, but I'd love to see them do the Avengers versus X-Men storyline. See ya.
I would like. Hold on.
Sorry, Cody's getting distracted by January Jones, guys.
Oh, yeah. One of the worst parts of this movie.
But
Like
anyway,
I said, you can see why she was hired, but you can also hear why she shouldn't have been. Sorry, continue.
But anyway, going back to when Rob was trying to decipher the continuity.
All right, Malcolm.
Well, what I was about to say is someone should Photoshop Rob's face in front of a blackboard with a whole bunch of connective tissue and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Just
try to
take
work it
the
out.
meme from Workaholics, or
Yeah.
it's Workaholics or Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where the guy is like the board he's trying to figure it out and just put Rob's face on that, and then put like X-Men timeline on top of the board. I could do that right now, but I'm way too lazy, and I'm watching X-Men First Class. Yeah, this was a movie that like I would try not to watch when my mom was around because they were just.
Because it's a Matthew Vaughn movie.
No, not as a Matthew Vaughn movie. It's just like there's women stripping down to their underwear, and I was just always like, movie. I was like,
"You're 100% right."
I'm like, yeah, Mom.
Kingsman literally has one of the most awkward and inappropriate.
It's so funny though. I don't care. It's so funny.
It's funny, but it's the dumbest.
You can do it in
it's
the
so.
Here's Magneto being the badass.
You can do it in the butt. Oh, sweet. That makes me want to go save the world even more.
God, that line is so funny though. That movie is fucking amazing. Save the world. You can do it in the asshole. God, Kingsman. I want to watch Kingsman now.
Just forget this happened.
Forget my face.
I just became a question writer. What the hell? What's wrong with me?
Did you?
Yeah.
For what league?
None of your business.
CC?
No, gosh, no. We would try. I would take that job if you paid me.
Oh, okay. You know what, January? You don't have to be mean to me just because I haven't seen our movie.
What?
That just synced up perfectly when I said I haven't seen Kingsman. She said pathetic.
This is one of the only X-Men movies in which Stan Lee doesn't actually cameo in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
The first Marvel movie he ever cameoed in was 2000's X-Men.
I mean, the reason for him not being in this one though is because they were filming it too far away from, and he just couldn't get there.
Yeah, I think this is one of the first moments that we really see just the true
the darkness that Eric has and and what he can and how far he's willing to go.
Yeah. Yeah, just the maliciousness.
It makes me sad that there are some people in this world who learned about the Cuban Missile Crisis through this movie.
You're
not a history book.
This is the highest grossing movie that takes place during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
It's true, even though 13 Days is a fantastic movie. If you guys are into history films, it's a really great movie. Yeah, they had a pinball machine in solitary confinement.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean that's what you really want to do to people with
Yeah,
abilities that
superpowers is
have
really
you.
making fun of them. Any single one of them could kill you, and you should probably make fun of them. That makes perfect sense. It's the 4th of July? No. Yeah, it's February. Can't be the 4th of July.
Poor Oliver Platt.
I will say something. It's really interesting that they're with the X Men going over to the MCU. Is because the one thing about X Men is it's the darkest of like comic books. So like they don't shed away from anybody dying or anybody like they just don't care. So like it will be interesting when they take them to the MCU. Matt left. All right, guys, we can talk now. No,
Yeah, I mean, I think the action is better in some other X-Men movies. Like as much as people shit on Apocalypse, I think the action in Apocalypse is actually really good. Like the final fight scene in Egypt against Apocalypse, really solid. I think this action scene is really, really good in this movie. Parts of the action scene in Cuba are pretty good. Days of Future Past has like the really, really good opening action scene. But honestly, Days of Future Past doesn't have a ton of like action. It has high tense moments, but even the end when Magneto surrounds the lighthouse with like the baseball stadium, it's not really like an action scene.
true.
I actually do like this moment where he's like, "Oh, the telepath's not here. Okay, let me take this off." Don't want to hide the moneymaker. Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
seems kind of sudden. Like, I know she had a rough past, and like, she hasn't always like liked humans. She's always kind of resented them. But I feel like this turn is a little bit sudden.
Yeah. Does feel like if you would leave so fast, what was even your purpose of coming along originally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hate
This part's pretty cool too.
I really liked his character, and I was the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
No.
I liked Darwin. Also, why does he ask him what his power is, but he didn't ask Angel?
I don't know.
Adapt to this.
I just his death is really cool, but my other thing was like, what was even the purpose of saving her when it's clear that like she didn't want to be there? So why would you like? Why waste the effort of saving her?
Yeah, I'm trying to like.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Rip. Speaking of Infinity War stealing a thing, Jean Grey dusts like hundreds of people in X-Men Last Stand.
Not wrong.
Like
Not wrong.
hundreds. Like at the end when she was full Dark Phoenix, like she dusts almost everybody on Alcatraz Island.
You heard here first, folks. Dark Phoenix was Thanos before Thanos.
Confirmed.
It's confirmed. Marvel ripped off Marvel. But I have vacation home in Florida. I do not want it to be blown up.
I go to Cuba. We may as well declare the war against Little American Pony. Hello. My name is Milosh. I'm a Russian general.
What are you quoting there, Rob?
Let's see what KGB think about this one.
KGB? Huh?
Hello.
Is that from something, or are you just
No,
like...
that's just me talking.
Hello. KGB.
I will now read chat in this voice.
I will now read chat. Hello, welcome to
I
KGB
have
Watchalong.
fact for you from home.
Hi.
Welcome back to KGB Watchalong of X-Men First Class.
Multiplex Entertainment says, wait, is this the one with Will I Am?
No, this is not the one we will find.
This is the one with Boris.
Completely normal. We have Boris.
Everybody,
Brooklyn Vale in chat.
Vale.
Brooklyn Vale has list of people who smell. Let me read list. Cody smells. Robert smells. Malcolm smells. Kern smells.
Well, that, you know, okay, you know what? I'm breaking character. That's insulting, Brooklyn. Okay. Screw you too, Brooklyn. You're out of the chat now. I have the power.
Panel. If you could be X-Men, what would your power be? Mine would be to produce food and be able to make heat in like a healer kind of role.
My power would be to
So
mute Brooklyn Vale.
Just be a microwave.
But it's been invented. Said mute him.
Did you mute me?
No.
Oh,
I meant
Brooklyn and chat.
talk about Brooklyn. I said that's the power. We want to mute Brooklyn. Oh wait, that power exists. even though I don't like her acting, I do like the line that she gives, if that makes sense. Her delivery is not that great, but the line is pretty good.
I wouldn't call it a war.
She's not wrong. I mean, humans versus mutants will literally come down to mutants will probably win. Oh my god. That actor's in God's Not Dead too. Why do I know that? Cinema Snob, that's why.
His training montage is also freaking fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's great. We were a British family that wanted to live in upstate New York.
Yeah,
Okay.
for some reason.
All right.
And they both turn out to be British in the original trilogy.
That was the same X mention from the original trilogy, wasn't it? Or was it
Yes,
different
it
one?
is. That's the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, that's why I made the joke that it's in upstate New York. Because it literally, like...
It also doubled as the crane mention from Arrow.
Oh, cool. Was that in any of the crossover episodes? No.
No.
Probably didn't see it.
This.
What, you guys don't have that? You guys don't have those fun Friday nights where your buddy's like, hey man, shoot me point blank, I swear I can stop it. You never have those? Fun Friday nights?
Usually those are Wednesdays for me.
Is that a reference to us?
No.
I didn't do the gun, but I did have friends when we were in high school who tried to do the knife hand game from Aliens.
Oh, that's so
stupid. We never got hurt, but we could have easily. And this is where you see Patrick Stewart.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
But it doesn't feel forced. Like, it feels very believable that even at this point he would be doing this.
What do you guys I don't think we actually touched on when we were talking about Cyclops, but what do you think of the fact that they essentially switched Cyclops's and Havoc's ages around?
Doesn't bother me at all.
Mm.
I honestly like Lucas Till. as Havoc.
I don't
Oh, yeah.
mind. I think it works, especially in X-Men Apocalypse.
Mhm.
I think
I like a young Ty Sheridan as Scott.
I mean, of course he wasn't going to be able to do it. Everyone was watching him.
I just imagine those rocks gotta hurt on his feet.
Yeah, look at how quick he can run though. That's pretty. He just ran around the whole mansion.
And then he just stops. He's like, oh God, there's so many in my feet. Oh,
Bleeding.
God,
Oh my God, I'm in so much pain.
I'm in pain. Man, what the hell? Oh, this scene. Oh no, wait, no, it's not this scene. It's the other one that I was talking about, the meme where so it's just like, no, I want the real.
Perfection.
There's so many creative things people have done with that crack me up.
I don't know if they still are dating, but Jennifer Lawrence and Nicholas Hoult got together during this movie,
Oh,
as did Michael Fassbender and Zoe Kravitz.
well, we know Michael Fassbender and Zoe Kravitz aren't together anymore. He's married to Laura Croft.
Mhm.
I don't know about married, but I know they're dating. So
Oh no, they're married. I don't really keep up too much. I just know from the Graham Norton show. Yeah, they've been married since 2017.
okay,
I don't know
yeah.
about Jennifer Lawrence.
I knew that.
Sexy microscoping.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna show restraint and not make a joke that I could have easily made.
Oh, I'll make the joke.
I mean,
Are you gonna ask if his penis is as deformed as his feet? That's the joke I'll make.
yeah. I mean, the X-Men will do. Yeah. I mean, the X-Men will do anything to try and get Cable.
Ah! All right, there you go. There you go, Monaco. This scene I love so much. And I think the way Fassbender plays it with no lines is so good.
Very, very good.
What else has Lucas Tool been in?
Monster trucks.
Oh yeah, that's right. Right. I guess Monster Trucks was the best movie of whatever year it was released, and y'all know it.
I think it was January 2016.
You know what? The only reason why I didn't win the Oscar was because it came out in January. If it came out later.
He was in Walk the Line. He played young Jack Cash. He was in the Hannah Montana movie.
Oh my god, yes, that's right! Not that I saw that.
No, you covered that up very well.
Oh.
Oh, that's
the scene.
That's right. He's the new MacGyver.
Yeah, I've never even seen the original MacGyver. See MacGruber though. Gruber. So good.
The Rage and Serenity thing is great. Yeah, so like that moment where he unlocked like the positive moments
and just even this, like even seeing him doing it is so powerful.
Seeing him actually do it, that like little laugh, that's a great Magneto moment. The great Professor X moment is when he's like right before the camera shifts back to Eric to unlock.
And you know that he's literally feeling all the emotions.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing like later on when Sebastian Shaw dies, he's feeling the exact same thing that Shaw is going through. Oh, I missed the kinky line?
Where?
Oh, damn. When they're about it's right after they arrive at the facility when Beast is like taking her blood and like she goes take the blood and looks him in the eye like right as he's drawing it out and Fassbender just walks by and looks at him kinky. And if I were you, I wouldn't change like not just that but just the kinky line. Like that is hilarious. One of my favorite lines in the movie.
Underage?
Okay.
Or is she? I don't know in this movie. What's Mystique's age?
What's her what?
What's her age?
It's hard to tell because like Rob,
this is really important for Magneto.
Can
he go forward with his kinky plans or not? I'll vote with her. You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead.
You're not ahead.
This speech is great, though. I think.
Yeah.
But
well, and this speech so perfectly, like, it's called back to in both Days of Future Past and specifically in Apocalypse.
Yeah, the line "mutant proud" is
when she's talking to Nightcrawler in Apocalypse, and Nightcrawler's just like, if you can be anybody, why don't you just disappear off the face of the earth forever? And she's like, because we shouldn't have to. Like, we shouldn't have to hide.
Yeah, mutant and proud is it's one of those things that it started in this movie and it carries through the whole trilogy. And I don't think it is as strong as is in this movie. And maybe that's just me.
What you think it's stronger in this movie?
Yeah, I think it's stronger in this movie. I think just the relation to everything that happens in this movie to end off the last interaction between Mystique and Professor X, you know, and like all of them is her saying mutant proud is because this is where they think they can coexist with humanity and they can't.
To answer your age question, how old here's how we're gonna figure it out. How old would you say Eric is in 1944 in the opening scene of this movie?
9, maybe?
He's not
8
that
or
young. I think he's a
9?
teenager.
A teenager?
Yeah, I think he's like. I think he's maybe like. Well, here, let's see if Wikipedia.
I don't know. I really bothered to look into it.
He's tall. Like he's as tall as his mom.
Tall?
Yeah.
What does height have to do with age?
Usually they're positively correlated.
I mean, I guess.
I've never seen an 8-year-old as tall as their mother.
I don't know. Well, depends on how short the mother is.
That's fair. So let's say we'll split the difference. Let's say Eric is 10 in 1944 in the opening scene of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This movie takes place 18 years after that.
Yeah.
So he's 20 or 38. Excuse me. No, 28. I can do math. I'm a math major. Eric is 28. I would say Charles is.
He's got to be right around that.
He's probably a little bit younger than that.
So he's probably 26, 27.
Yeah, I would say, probably like 25.
Well, because that makes sense. Charles got his master's degree, and you usually get that around, like, in that range.
Usually your master's around, like, 23. Charles was getting his PhD, which you get... So bachelors usually get...
Bachelor's you get at, like,
by the time
22.
You're 22. Master's usually 2 years after that at 24. PhD usually... depends what school you're going to, really, like what you're going to school for.
So, but that works out for him getting his PhD is.
But I also feel like
27.
he'd be getting his PhD earlier because he's so smart.
True.
So I would say in this movie, Charles is probably 24 or so. 24.
Is he that young? I think 25 or 26.
25. Mystique is probably.
Oh, this meme though. This I want the real.
Mystique's maybe 22 in this movie.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. So
early
she's not.
20s. Early.
That's
20s.
really what I was trying to. Rob, that's what I was trying to figure out for Magneto's sake. Is she jailbait? That's what I was really trying to figure out.
Well, it's so. By the way, Rebecca Romijn cameo. It's interesting because like they treat Mystique as a character who is much younger than I think she's supposed to be in this movie.
Yeah, they treat her like a teenager.
They treat her like she's a teenager. But I don't think she's supposed to be. Or she's supposed to be early 20s.
Because in the opening scene with Mystique and Charles, when they're kids,
they're very much the same age. They seem the same age. Or at least very close. Charles is, I think, 9. I think we find out in Days of Future Past that he was 9 years old when he met her. And she wasn't much. She was maybe 7, maybe 6. But that's pushing it. So she's maybe 3 years younger than him. And if he's 25 in this movie, she's like, I mean, like, granted, Eric is probably like 5 to 8 years older than her, but that's not a weird age or anything like that. They treat her much younger than I think she was intended to be. For better or worse. Yeah. Again, I think the age of Mystique is a big continuity error in this movie. Yeah. That makes the timeline even harder to figure out. I mean,
which is why we
which is why we don't try to
Just
figure
shouldn't figure it out. Again, as a Terminator fan, it's like trying to figure out that timeline. It's not worth it because it just doesn't make sense. I also really like the suits in these movies. Like
too.
they're
I like them more.
they are throwbacks to the original comic suits, but they're not exactly the same. I don't know. I've always liked.
I like the costumes. I like them better.
I like the color scheme. I don't know. I'm just weird.
No, I agree. I like it better than.
I like it better than the super just black matrix lever in the original trilogy.
It is literally.
I certainly like these better than that.
What a reveal!
Oh my god! Ah, he's wearing glasses. Couldn't fix your sight though. That's too bad. Ooh.
I put it down immediately, please.
Jesus.
Also, like speaking of this, another callback later in. So, like in Days of Future Past, one of my favorite. Okay, let me restart that sentence.
Okay.
In this trilogy, my favorite Michael Fassbender as Eric moment is the bar scene.
Uh-huh.
My second favorite moment in this trilogy, that Magneto moment, is in Days of Future Past when after they break Magneto out of prison, when they're in the jet and Charles and Eric are arguing, and Eric stands up. Oh, by the way, that's Michael Ironside.
Oh yeah, that's right. Can't believe I forgot he was in this.
Yep. So, Eric stands up and starts shouting at Charles, and he's like, Angel, Azazel,
yeah,
Tide, Banshee,
yeah,
Emma, like just starts listing.
I feel like we talked about this last week.
We talked about it on Rankum, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm like, because I know we've agreed on this, but just really quickly to say, Michael Ironside is one of my favorite people that movies and TV shows cast as a military person. He just has such a demeanor and look that I don't care what I believe him working for, in Top Gun, in Smallville, in this. Like, he just has that look to where you're just like, yeah, he's a military man.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my Michael Ironside.
No, it's I think it's the it's the chiseled chin.
Yeah, and although he's also great in a movie that we need to do at some point, which is Total Recall, where he's not a military man, but he is really good in that movie too. He is one of the great voices of all time in movies, in my opinion. I still love the when he takes over the guy and it's like, you saved us all from nuclear war. Throw him in the brick.
Yeah.
The only good thing that came from the leather suits in the original was the line where it was, what would you prefer?
Or yellow spandex.
Yellow spandex.
Yeah. Yeah, I like 2000s X-Men. I definitely think it's influential, but I don't think it holds up very well.
But Rob, people can hear your mind's thoughts on that movie and more on the Movie Fandom Show episode on X-Men, which you can find right here on Take 3.
Yeah, you can.
That was one of the first times I ever met you, actually. I didn't really know you before that episode. That was a great conversation.
That's definitely the first time we'd interacted.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes, honestly. Not just because you're sitting here. That was one of my favorites I did. Yeah, I met a lot of people through Movie Fit. That's where I met Malcolm when we did Neighbors. I met a lot of people who I know.
Or in New Zealand, as it's called, Bad Neighbours.
As you told me.
Is that actually that's a real thing that had a different title?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're afraid we would have confused it with the TV show of the same name that Australia makes.
And that's also another time when I was able to talk about my Rosenbarn obsession on the Neighbors episode.
Niet.
By
the way, I think Jason Fleming plays him. He's in something else too. Jason Fleming plays his Hazel, I think.
Yeah, that's
It's something else that I'm trying to think of that I've seen recently.
They're all like, I just love this.
Oh, he's in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Who does he play?
He's Henry Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh yeah, that's right. That movie's. You want to talk about comic book movies that belong in they're a slog to get through. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen falls into that category. I tried to watch that because I'm such a Sean Connery fan, and it was so hard. It was so boring. And it was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is such a cool concept to just have such a boring film.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
And Sean Connery could have been really awesome, but they just didn't let him be Sean Connery in that role.
Yeah, definitely. Jason Fleming is in another Vaughn movie I like a lot, Stardust.
I've never seen that movie.
It's really solid. It's cheesy. If you like cheesy mid-2000s fantasy movies, which are like my shit, like that is my
that's Rob's shit.
That is my
early 2000s
fantasy
movies.
Like 2000s fantasy movies, that is my stuff. Like Aragon, I will defend that movie.
Dude, I was literally about to say that. I was about to say like Aragon.
Movies, let's go. Like if you're looking for like that, if you're looking for post Lord of the Rings fantasy movies, Stardust is a great.
What about Inkheart?
I love Inkheart. I like the books more. I like the books more.
I haven't read the books, but that is a to spoil people. That's probably after Smallville. That's going to be the next episode of Second Look is going to be on Inkheart.
I like that movie a lot.
I liked it too. I didn't see. You know what the thing is? I said it. I wrote a review of it on Facebook, and I said, I wish I would have seen it when it came out because I think I would have loved it even more. Because I really did enjoy it. It was 2009.
Oh, damn it.
2009, and I think I would have, because in 2009 I would have been 12.
Oh,
I think, I would have loved it even more. Because that was when my Brendan Fraser obsession was at its peak. Because I was watching the Mummy movies and Looney Tunes Back in Action on repeat. I still love Brendan Fraser. He's the reason why I might get a subscription to DC Universe just to watch Doom Patrol for him. He's such an underrated actor. I love Brendan Fraser. You heard here, people. I love Brendan Fraser. He's amazing. He's a blessing to us all.
Release date was it was January 2009 in the US.
You doubt me, Rob?
No, because I looked it up in the year next to IMDb is 2008, but that's worldwide.
It's
ever went by the term Bob?
Oh, no. Cody, you're back.
No, Inkheart is I like the movie. I like the books a lot too.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Good movie.
Between Rage and Serenity. Speaking of Rage and Serenity, is that there Caleb Coho still in the chat? Wink, wink.
I don't think there's anybody still in the chat.
I don't know if Cody gets that joke or not, but that's a little reference to something that hasn't been posted.
I'm intrigued, and I will definitely be asking about that once the stream is over.
Or you can stay tuned. I don't. Okay. Or you can stay tuned to Full Metal Trivia on Friday when a certain match gets posted.
Okay. I might, but I'm still going to.
I'll still tell you off stream.
Yeah, I was going to. Like, you'll tell me off stream, and then I'll watch it on Friday. Oh, again, must mention the music. So good.
Incredible. Yeah, Henry Jackman is a brilliant composer.
Such a good score. Like, this music you could see being like, as someone who like edits trailers, like, this is like, you could see this in like a trailer. Like,
oh yeah.
Well,
I mean, Henry Jackman, like,
he's like David Arnold, where they're both really good composers, but no one really talks about them that much.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's just so much that he's done. Like, he does not have like the most composing credits in the world. What he has done is so.
He doesn't have the
good.
quantity, but he's got the quality. And
Yeah,
that's
like
what matters.
he's like people like modern composers that people tend to know really, really well, just because of their.
It's Hans Zimmer. That's it.
No, it's Hans Zimmer. It's Michael Giacchino. Those are probably the two like most consistently working ones
John
nowadays.
Williams, I don't factor in because one, he's not that consistent. Two, he's like
I don't count him as consistently working, but like I would say Hans Zimmer and Michael Giacchino are the two usual like go-tos just because they're the ones that people know. But like Henry Jackman, people should know it more. Like Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class, Wreck-It Ralph, Kick-Ass 2, Winter Soldier, Big Hero 6, Kingsman: The Secret Service.
He did Winter Soldiers?
Captain America: Civil War as well. Kong Skull Island, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, the new Jumanji movie he did. Like, he has done so much.
I knew he did Civil War. I didn't know that he did
Winter Soldier.
Wow.
Winter Soldier is really good.
And that's a great score. This final battle is so good.
Really good, yeah.
This whole ending is so like the thing I love about this movie and what makes my favorite X-Men movie is it just understands just like 3-act structure. Like everything builds to this. The relationships, everything builds to this climax. And also weird. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, please.
No. Go. Mine's just a stupid.
No, I was just gonna say this is once the X-Men movies started doing post-credit scenes. This is the first one without one.
It doesn't really need one.
No, it doesn't. But like X-Men: Last Stand is the first one that has a post-credit scene, and every other movie in the X-Men universe, except this one and Logan, have one, at least one.
I just little memories that you have connected to movies. I remember one. It was around Christmas time, just watching this movie because I recorded this off like I think it was Cinemax or something, and watching it, helping my mom hang the lights up, not on the tree, but like around our house, and just like trying to find ways to position myself holding the lights, but I could still be watching the movie at the same time. Just little things that you just remember. Oh, I love that when Banshee comes up out of the water. Actually, Charles, he's right here. Ooh, Eve needs a time code.
Malcolm, do you by chance have that? Because I'm not on. Or Cody, maybe here.
I think I'm maybe 10
Okay,
seconds behind. Give or take.
Okay, I got a time code. Okay,
I have an hour 46 minutes and something.
Okay, we just passed an hour 47, Abe. We are going to be at an hour 48 in 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get time checks because I'm watching on Blu-ray, so I have to like pause the movie and then play it right away.
That's fine. I got it right here on mine. So
Yeah, I'm watching a Blu-ray as well for the same
I'm
reason.
watching DVD though. So yeah, so we'll be at an hour and 48 in 20 seconds. Ten, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hour 48.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool. Which it's never like officially said in the movies, but it is canon that Azazel and Mystique have a child, and that's Nightcrawler. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Like Nightcrawler, a lot of people know Nightcrawler as Azazel's son, but it's actually also Mystique's son.
Huh. All right.
That's part of why he wasn't in Days of Future Past, partially because they wanted a younger version of him in Apocalypse, so they couldn't have him be like, they wanted him the same age as like Cyclops and Jean Grey and Jubilee in Apocalypse, but also like they didn't want him also to have the DNA that could work with Sentinels.
Did you not get it, Abe? All right. Well, we're gonna be in an hour and 51 minutes in 40 seconds.
And this turn, like, you saw it coming because obviously it's a prequel and you know where this movie ends, but also just the fact that
okay, hour and 51 in an hour and 51 in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hour and 51.
Yeah, so like you're really rooting for Magneto throughout this entire film to not go dark. And when he puts on that helmet, you know that he's too far gone.
You know it's done. Once Charles is
wasn't.
screaming at him and
Because
it just gets muffled by the...
Yeah, because of how good Fassbender's performance is, you just, like, you feel for that character so much and you want that character.
Yeah, just the, I'm going to count to 3.
And I'm going to move the coin.
Kevin Bacon actually went method with this and let Michael Fassbender put a coin through his head. Did you guys know
Kevin
that?
Bacon's dead.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon. Yeah, he yeah.
That looks painful, by the way.
Yeah, that just does not look fun. Oh. That's not fun at all.
It's memorable, though.
Cody, Abe would like to ask, do you want to drop your teammate in Full Metal and pick him up as the Brooklyn Heating team?
I can't do that. I'm sorry. I would love that, but I can't.
Okay.
I have a positive record right now. I would like to keep that.
In Full Metal?
Yeah, well, I'm 500 right now.
I'm 500 in teams. In singles, I haven't played a singles Full Metal match in...
In singles, I'm 1-0.
I've never played in Full Metal, so...
Spoiler. I'm 1-0 with 2 TKOs.
It has been almost a year, I think, since I played in Full Metal singles.
Well, they got rid of
They got rid of IMDb round, so I can maybe win matches now.
Yeah, I saw your team match. I think you can.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good match. IMDb round was the bane of my
existence. I like the fact that this is the climax of the movie, not a big battle. It doesn't come down to Magneto and Charles like having a fist fight or something. Like, it literally comes down to their choices and like, do they want to try and stand with humans or stand against them?
Yeah.
I love that.
They have different ideologies, which, I mean, that's my favorite Charles line from this movie is later after he's been paralyzed. Eric is holding him in his arms, and Charles just goes, or Eric says, "We want the same thing, we want the same thing, Charles." And Charles goes, "I'm sorry, my friend, but we do not."
Yeah, it's a battle of ideologies. They,
But see, what this movie did is show that friendship developed enough to make you believe that moment.
Yeah,
yeah.
This ending works and is so powerful because their friendship was so good and you believed it. And you also believe that Eric at one point kind of thought maybe he could want what Charles wants, but by this point knows that he can't live in a world where humans and mutants coexist.
Shouldn't have showed him how powerful he is, Charles.
It's true. It's creating your own monster. It's Frankenstein.
It's one of my favorite parts of Days of Future Past, when he's like, what did he get in trouble for? Or why is he in jail? For the bro? How else do you explain the bullet curving?
And then turns out he was actually trying to save the president.
Right.
Yeah, he was trying to save Kennedy.
You killed John F. Kennedy.
That's one of my favorite things as, like, again, a student history. It's just like that just cracked me up, the whole, how else do you fit the bullet curved?
There's a headcanon that, like, this and Watchmen take place in the same universe, since the comedian killed Kennedy and, like, Magneto was trying to stop the comedian from the assassination.
Matt, apparently your and Abe friendship's not good at the moment.
Why?
I don't know. Abe says in the chat.
I gave you the time code. I gave you the time code. You're caught up on First Class because of me. Is it my fault that you lost the match and you haven't gotten your second chance? I don't run these leagues.
It was all Evan's fault.
Yeah.
It is Evan's fault.
Man, Abe, all right. I don't know what I did to you, but I guess our friendship's not working.
Gosh, that's funny.
Oh, is it? I'm glad my
Yeah.
pain is humorous to you,
Oh,
Cody.
not that. I got a message popped up across on Messenger. And
Oh,
that was quite funny.
It was just timing.
This is a trivia question. Hey, anybody watching this who competes in Full Metal Geek? Spoiler alert, this is a question that I'm going to ask
What is the question?
someday. Who shot the bullet that paralyzes Charles?
Taggart.
Yeah, Moira Taggart.
I thought you were going to ask how many Oscar-nominated actors are in
Actually,
the
That's a fucking bullshit question.
That's a bullshit
Now I have a question for you, Rob.
Sure.
What other fandom franchise has Rose Byrne been in?
Rose Byrne?
Yeah,
The fandom as in like multiplex fandom?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't think she's been in either comic book franchise.
You did.
It's gotta be something animated that she's a voice of. I'm gonna guess the DreamWorks franchise, but I don't know if that's true.
That's wrong. She is in
Star Wars.
She is in Attack of the Clones. She is one of
Oh,
Padme's.
she's a Dorme, isn't she?
Yep.
Yep, I knew that.
Really? Because you just got that question wrong.
No. I knew that Rose Byrne played Dorme. If you
know what?
If you have asked me the question who played Dorme in Attack of the Clones, I would have said Rose Byrne. I knew that.
If it came down to me winning a trivia match or knowing something from that piece of shit movie, I'll lose the trivia match. I'm fine with it. My question for Full Metal Geek would have been, how many shots does she shoot?
Fire. I think is it the fourth one that gets deflected into him? Fourth or fifth?
Like the
That's
second.
actually an RJ question, probably.
Regardless,
I think
also,
it's one that hits his helmet, one,
Cody,
two,
by the
three,
way.
fourth gets deflected.
You know what? Fine, Abe. You know what? I don't want to be your friend either way. You suck.
Now we get ready to play hard. Who's with me? I'm behind or forward, I don't know, but it's fantastic. That's why I love Magneto.
And I love that, like, it's not easy for any of them to join him.
Sorry, you're paralyzed now.
Rip.
You're no good to me anymore.
Shit. I mean, that's how you feel.
Are you in pain? Well, half of you are.
And you also understand in this moment that, like, Charles, to an extent, and it's talked about again later in Days of Future Past, but to an extent, Charles did kind of push her away. Like, he treated her too much like a child. He didn't recognize her full, like, maturity.
He big brothered her too much.
Yeah.
He tried to just say, this is what I think is best for you, and this is how you should act, because he overprotected her. He tried to hide her too much, and that pushed her away. What he thought was taking care of her actually pushed her away. This is what you call, like, I don't care if one of them is like a blue, like, mute, like, this is what you call real drama, like human drama, just stuff like that. He tried to just take care of his little sister, and he pushed her away. Again, the music.
You're gonna get a sweet ass wheelchair.
So good.
What do they call you?
Here.
Wheels?
It's funny. Never mind. You know what?
It is
Never-
hilarious. Nice.
Oh my god, Abe! What the hell?
Is Abe in the chat?
Yeah, you haven't been listening to him apparently break up our friendship on this chat, Rob?
I heard you guys talking about it, but I haven't been in the chat. I'm gonna go to the chat now.
Some host you are.
I mean, there hasn't really been the most active chat today.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay.
All right, let's see what Abe's got. Time code, please. So what's the time code? I was in the kitchen. It took you guys too long. He incorrectly spelled the word two. Got it. Thanks, Matt. Cody, if you're reading this, do you want to drop your teammate? I like bacon. I lost the match and haven't gotten my second chance. Matt's and I's friendship is not good at the moment. You fucked up. You know what you did. 4 overall in middle teams and singles. Does the Neighbors movie count? RJ retired my team. I once pushed my grandma. She hasn't been able to walk since that day. How many Sonic Cups does Cody have?
Probably less than Matt has Gatorade bottles right now because he forgot it was plastic recycling day and not cardboard. So I'm stuck with these for another 2 weeks.
The struggle is real.
Well, the problem is my town until last month, we had our recycling day was plastic and cardboard, and then they just decided to change. So now
For a second, I thought I froze up, but it looks like it was Matt that froze.
Yeah, it was. I thought I froze up as well. But...
No, it was just funny. Everyone else was sitting so still. It's like, shit, everyone else was frozen up. It was all just me.
Yeah, how very 60s of you. Screw women.
Sounds like Robert the Hobbit Barber. Rip.
Yeah, that you know me. Rampant sex.
I do.
You had time to color the helmet.
Just to look straight like Magneto.
Emma, I am your father. She joined him just to be never seen again.
And there we have it. Matt looks like he's still having connection issues. But I think
you guys not see me?
he's
Yeah,
back
you're back.
now. All right, so
Okay.
as credits are rolling, we will just do a quick wrap up. I will start. This is still my favorite X-Men movie. I think it does have some minor flaws, but on the whole, the character moments shine in this movie more than any other movie in the X-Men universe, and I really, really, really like that. I think the performances are spectacular, specifically by McAvoy and Fassbender. And overall, I think this is just a great, great watch. You guys agree, disagree? We'll go to Cody first.
What am I agreeing or disagreeing on?
Is this the worst movie ever made?
This is by far the worst. No, this is still probably second. Again, they do some cheesy moments in there that I'm not fully on board. But I think the Wide Days of Future Past works better for me is because the characters are developed a lot more. So that's just me. We had a movie to develop them, and then they get to shine in the next movie. So that's why it kind of stands a little bit more. But this is Matthew Vaughn. I'm with Robert 100%. I almost would trust him to do anything. He's fantastic. Again, he did Apocalypse too, right?
No. He
Okay.
Brian did.
Okay, so
Oh yeah.
Okay, so like I mean, I feel like this movie just gets better. Again, Kevin Bacon and I don't take serious all the time, but in this movie, but really the story is not about the villain. It could have been anybody. It's pretty much about you finally see the real connection between Xavier and Charles. So I see it play out on screen. It's amazing to watch, and I'm glad we got to watch it again.
Definitely good points, my friend. Malcolm, how you feeling?
Yeah, no, pretty good. Like, but I'll combine my plugs and just because I've got to rush off to do something else. But
Sure.
but yeah, this is the first time I've seen this movie in ages. It's probably going to go up on my all-time comic book / superhero movies list. I don't know how much higher yet, but it was just fun to watch it again, just see all the moments. And but yeah, you can find me on Take 3 on Saturday this week, doing ranking because we're ranking movie trilogies. Because there's this small indie event called the Oscars happening on Sunday. We don't really want to go up against that. But you can also find me competing in Full Metal and Multiplex, and check out the Full Metal trivia page after this because they are doing a live Oscars match with Caleb Coho facing off against Jake Mangoni and Jeremy Adams.
Sweet. Awesome. Matt, where you at with this movie? And just in your life, how you feeling, man?
Well, I was feeling better until our editor, Abe, apparently thinks I'm a piece of shit to think I gave you a time code. Screw you too, Abe. You're dead to me.
Betray your trust like that.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Abe. So this movie currently sits at number 8 on my top 20 comic book movies, and it just watching it again, I haven't seen it in a couple months. It still earns that spot there. Everything we talked about it's so good. Sure, there are a couple moments here and there that might not work, but the overall experience I have watching this movie, it's so much fun. This, like I said at the beginning, this was really the first X-Men movie that made me love the X-Men and really made me go back and really start reading the comics more and just falling in love with this universe. So yeah, I just love this movie a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree completely as well. And my top favorite superhero movies of all time. 12.
Look who's here.
We're not going to do plugs. We're just going to end this broadcast. So you can find all of us on Take 3. And if you check the link in the description, you can check out all of our individual social medias. But other than that, thank you all for joining us this evening. We will be back next week.
You can follow my Twitter at Abraham F35.
Watchalong.
You should have muted him.
Bye-bye.